Okay, I need you all to do me a quick favor. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop me a hello, and enjoy the video. Hello, welcome back to Theater by Mo. I'm Mo, and today I'm bringing you my quick review on Andor episodes 4, 5, and 6. I did previously do a quick one on 1, 2, and 3, so make sure you check that out. I will leave that linked down below. If you have not checked that out, do that first and then come back to this one, of course. Also, if you have not watched Andor yet, watch it. You should watch it before even watching this review. I will definitely give away a few details, but this is really more just like a character sort of review, the character's development and the story development and my thoughts on that, especially as someone who went to school for theater. So, theater major here, my thoughts on Andor. Seriously, you guys, I don't know why every single review or tons of people always talk about how slow paced they feel like Andor is. I'll probably say this a million times. I know I said it in my last review, I'll say it on this one, and I'll probably say it in others that I do. The pacing, I actually think was done super well. We live in a time now where short form content is constant. It's coming at you. Even long form content, there's constantly things. Think about how often you click into a YouTube video and then you click out of it for whatever reason, whether you're not enjoying it, whether it is not quite what you thought it was, whether you didn't have time, or whether you just don't have the attention span to sit there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes and watch a video about what someone has to say or someone entertaining you or whatever the case may be. We live in a world where it is hard to just have the attention span to sit, listen, watch, read a book, whatever the case may be. It is hard to hold attention. I think Andor is such a good example of developing characters, developing story, and it's something that we don't get very often now. So many shows only last 1, maybe 2 seasons. Then they either just wrap it up or they just never get to continue on. But those shows that lasted for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons, they really get the chance to develop a storyline. And I'm not saying every single show needs to do that. I'm just saying we don't really take the time to do that nowadays. So that all being said, Andor 4, 5, and 6. So of course we just got off of Andor escaping with Luthen, and he doesn't really know this guy. He just was trying to sell a part. Luthen was basically trying to get Cassian Andor to help with this job. So Andor, not necessarily the most trusting of this guy. He goes with him, ends up getting dropped off with this. I feel like my cats make an appearance in almost like every YouTube video I ever film. Okay, just ignore that background noise. So Andor ends up joining this team that is going to steal a payroll for an entire garrison. Okay, so he's just dropped in. These people don't know him. They don't want him. And there he is. They don't trust him. He doesn't trust them, but he is going to be paid, and he really has no other choice because he is on the run. Now, I don't want this whole review to be just like what happened, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've probably seen it. So I just want to kind of do a quick little rundown of the characters and my thoughts on them and everything. So these characters, there is Vel. She is the one who's basically in charge, and I have mixed opinions about this character. I can't quite decide if I don't quite enjoy the way that she was written, or if it's more the way that she's acted, or if it's just the character. And it didn't necessarily matter who played it or how exactly she was written. She has a little bit of that like bossy girl sort of vibe, and I don't love it. I feel like she's trying to act all tough, and I don't know if it's maybe the actress just didn't quite have that about her. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about her. If you have other opinions on Vel, comment below. I'd love to hear them. It's not that I didn't like her. I just feel like maybe there's just something. Maybe she's not quite written as well as I would like, and also maybe not quite, maybe just wasn't the right person. And I think the person does a nice job, the actress, but I just think maybe it's not quite right. You know, you can't have everything be a win, but I do really love the show. So she basically tells everybody he's here, they have no choice, and that's just how it is. They're not happy, but it's fine. Cinta doesn't really talk much. I think though that her casting was done well, and that's just how she's written. She's not much of a talker. She's strong, she's tough, and I think you get that vibe from her when you're just watching it. So not a super like interesting character, not a character that has a lot of I guess I would call her more of a static character versus a dynamic character. There is Lieutenant Gorn, who is kind of the one who is helping them do the robbing, because he is there, he's working there. Again, kind of a static character, little gruff, little serious. I think he's cast well. Nothing too exciting. Then there is Skeen. He's a little shady, and I think you know that from the start, and as you watch these series of episodes, you definitely find that out later, because he's basically lying about his reason behind why he's part of this, as well as he's then basically just saying, let's just take the money and run to Andor later on. So shady from the start. I think he was well written that way. Obviously that's the way he's written. I think he was well acted that way. I think the casting choice was good. There is Terriman. You find out later that he used to be a stormtrooper, and I think that fits. I think he's also kind of a static character. Skeen as well, although I feel like there's a little bit more of a dynamic vibe to Skeen, just kind of with like, he kind of seems shady, but then he kind of seems okay, but then you get I don't know, I feel like his character had a little bit more character development over the 3-episode arc, 4, 5, and 6. Terriman, ex-stormtrooper, you get that vibe. He's kind of like, you know, orders, this is how it's done, that sort of thing. But again, honestly, not that exciting of a character, but I think, you know, necessary just for the story, and you know, you need those types of characters as well. Not everybody can be dynamic and exciting. And then probably my favorite, and I think he was written to be likable, is Nemik. Just like this young guy, he's talkative, he's chatty, he is likable. Everyone in the group seems to like him, and even Skeen, who's a bit shady, does seem to have some sort of like, I don't know, it seems like he has more loyalty to him than he does to any of the other characters for whatever reason. Cassian Andor also seems to connect with him a lot more than any of the other characters. He is more willing to listen to him and to sit with him and to talk with him, and I don't know, Nemik is one of those characters. I always talk about my husband this way, as he's like this person that people just are drawn to and they want to know, and it's just this thing that he has about him. It's not like anything he does specifically or tries to do. Well, anyway, I think Nemik was written to be likable for a reason. Okay, I just really quickly want to touch on Cyril. Gets fired, not surprising, because he didn't really follow orders, even though he was trying to follow the rules, and it just blew up in his face. So he goes back to his mom's apartment. Not a healthy relationship there, but to be honest, he's a very interesting character, and I'm kind of excited to see where he goes when the series starts up again. And it's kind of cool just to see his character development and things. I don't know, he's not the most dynamic character, but I feel like he does change, and he's getting more dynamic in a way. So it'll be interesting to see how he changes, and even just in the few episodes that he's in as the series continues in 1 through 12, I think it's kind of interesting. And then the other person I want to briefly stop on is Deidre. You don't get all of the like scariness from her yet. That is to come. But I think it's really interesting. There's these comments about like the only reason she's there is because basically she's a woman. And I think that kind of also lights a fire under her butt, and she gets scary later. So we'll get more into her a lot later on. Just wanted to bring her up because she's getting a little bit PO'd now because of all this stuff happening and then not being listened to. So she also, I feel like, ends up having more character development, and she, I would describe as more of a dynamic character in the sense that she starts out still wanting to like do these different things and to, you know, take care of her sector and everything, but still just kind of following when somebody says like, nope, just take care of this other thing, like whatever. But then she gets the comments of like, you're only here because of this, and all this stuff happens, and then she just like takes it and runs with it. So lots more intensity coming from her. Okay, so I want to wrap this up quickly because this is just me rambling about characters, but Cassian Andor is, you know, just continuing to go with what he needs to do in order to survive, basically. But it's interesting to see him develop these different relationships, and you can kind of see like he really is a caring person, and he cares about people even though he maybe doesn't know them. But that's the thing. Nemik, he cares about Nemik, like you can see it, and they have this conversation. I love a good foreshadowing where Nemik, he can't sleep because he's, you know, excited, nervous about what's to come with the robbery, and he, you know, tells this to Andor, and he's like, I have to be at my best. And Andor says, you know, basically tells him he's gonna be fine, and he says, you'll sleep when it's over. Watching that the second time around, and you know what's coming. My husband actually basically called it. He's like, he's gonna be killed off. And I didn't want to believe it because I really liked Nemik, but usually they kill off someone who's likable, and he was the one who had to go. So he did end up dying, and that's kind of when everyone else kind of separates to any of the last living people in this whole thing. Of course, they kill off some of the less dynamic characters, and that's normal. Of course, not everyone was going to make it, but the death of Nemik is just like, it's so sad to me. If you also felt that way, feel free to comment down below. I know this was a little scatterbrained at the end, but let me know your thoughts on episodes 4 through 6. I thought they were good. I know it was a lot of preparing for the actual heist. I thought the heist episode was really good. A lot of action. I just really think they did a really good job with this show in the 3 episode arcs of having, you know, a decent amount of rising action, some good climax, some good falling action. And I think that even in each episode, there's, you know, those little bits of intensity that, I don't know, people just don't want to sit and be there for. Anyway, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.